Hey guys, welcome back to Sarcastic Remarks. My name is Ryan Chambers. This is the official Dallas Stars podcast of THPN. Please go and use that promo code THPN the next time you go and use DraftKings Sportsbook. We thank them for being our sponsor of this episode of our podcast and all of THPN. The Dallas Stars get their 10th comeback win of the season. They are now tied for first in the NHL when it comes to that category by winning over the Ottawa Senators by a final score of 5-4 tonight. Lots of things to talk about in tonight's game here, but first things first, obviously, I am here by myself this evening. I should be in Dallas, but circumstances given, I'm still here at home in West Texas, and Chris and James are both preparing themselves for Chris's wedding on Sunday. So Chris will be getting married to his longtime girlfriend and now beautiful fiance, Ellie, and I'm really looking forward to being there on Sunday and being there for that event. So, anyways, let's get into the game here real quick. What I'm just gonna do, I took a lot of notes tonight, and maybe it was just because I knew I was gonna be by myself this evening. But y'all, let me know in the comment section down below if there's anything that I need to talk about that I've forgotten. But I'm just gonna kind of go through period by period, give my thoughts, and we'll start off with a couple of the obvious ones here in just a second. But first things first, Ottawa's on a second night of a back-to-back, so they're coming in already tired, and they eventually would lose two players in between the second and third period, so they would be down by quite a bit on the just general fatigue front and, personnel front. So right off the bat, fluky goal. Travis Hammond gets his second of the season. It bounces off of SS skate, and it bounces off the post and happens to go in behind Otter. That was a fluky goal that had eyes, and I'm just like, we're at this again. I'm just like, of course. So Dallas, for like the sixth time in a row, gives up the first goal of the game. It wouldn't even take 2 minutes later, but then Batherson would score after the initial shot is blocked. So the initial shot was blocked by, I think it was Suter there, and it was just really, really frustrating with the Stars being down 2 goals early. And it wasn't really Otter's fault there, in my opinion. He was kind of screened by Ryan Suter, and Ryan Suter with kind of a rough game tonight. We'll get into more of that a little bit later. But so Ottawa goes up 2-0. And here's the frustrating thing too, is like before that first goal by Travis Hamonic, the Stars came out in that first, maybe even the second shift was very much like in their face, like ready to go. And I mean, they were ready. It was. I thought they looked great in that first little bit, and I was just like, all right, let's get going. I'm excited for this. It looks like they're ready to play and win today after getting 3 days off, and then they're really down early 2-0. So frustrating. So Dallas would go on the penalty kill. There's a lot of penalties in the first period. Johnston would go off for slashing, and the confusing thing was that his stick was the one that broke. So I'm not sure how he got the penalty there, but regardless, he goes off. And then Claude Giroux would have a chance on that power play. And this is probably the biggest takeaway from tonight's game, in the fact that Ottinger goes off the ice and he appears to be hurt. And I don't know what it was. Maybe his skate got the puck got like stuck under his blade or something, and it kind of tweaked something weird. But we would get word later on from Josh that Ottinger would not be returning to the game, and that was towards the end of the first period. So not really anything good out of the first 10 minutes of the game after a good couple of shifts by the Stars there. 2 goals against. Their number one goalie is hurt. And in the first 10 minutes, the Stars didn't have a recorded shot on goal. So really frustrating for the first 10 minutes of the game there. To kind of get back to Otter a little bit, maybe this is something that has been consistent with him over the last couple of weeks. We've kind of discussed in the fact on this pod that he has not been as solid as he's been in the past, especially the last couple of weeks. And maybe this is just something that's been nagging him the whole time. And then today, just that one awkward save on the Claude Giroux shot just kind of tweaked it even worse. I mean, he knew he was hurt. Like even when Ottawa had possession, excuse me, of the puck during the power play, he's like trying to get the ref's attention, like, "Hey, I need to get off. I'm hurt." So that's not good. So I mean, the other thing that calls into question with this tonight is if he is going to be out for an extended period of time, who gets called up? Because I mean, is it going to be Matt Murray, which seems to be the more likely candidate to get called up, or is it going to be Remy Poirier? Because Remy Poirier has done pretty well down in the AHL the last couple of weeks, so maybe he gets called up. I'm not sure, but if I had to take my guess, I would say that Matt Murray is probably on his way to St. Louis, like right now. That would be my guess. Okay, moving on from that, Dallas would get the power play. Claude Giroux gets the hooking call. Duchesne is the one that draws the call. He had a great game tonight. Had a goal that, yeah, it was a lucky bounce, but hey, he had a lot of dangling, and he was a big reason why we won that game tonight. And he he has something that a lot of players on the Dallas Stars don't have. And I think what I really like about Duchesne's game is his ability to hold on to the puck. That's something that he does a lot, and he does really well. And he does that twice in today's game, and 2 goals come off of that ability to hold on to the puck. First, it was the Lindell goal. He completely set Lindell up. It was a great shot by Lindell, but he was the one that kind of set that up. And then his own goal, which again was a lucky bounce. It was a fluky goal, but you could say that that's retribution for the first goal that Ottawa scored, which was a fluky goal, the Hamannik goal. But he still held on to the puck, and he was dangling all around. So seriously, I thought it was great. He had a great game tonight. Duchesne did. Dallas is 7th in the NHL on the power play this season right now, and considering that they were like 29th like a month and a half ago, that's ridiculous and that's insane. So hopefully that continues for the Dallas Stars. There was some 4-on-4 work. Dallas will go on the penalty kill. During the 4-on-4, there's 2 goals. First, it's Josh Norris. He scores on the rebound after Claude Giroux gets a step on Harley. And I even posted about this on my personal X account. I was hacked off after that goal. I thought that after that goal, the Stars were just going to bend over and just take it, because it was completely inexcusable defense there. And this goes back to what Stars fans have been talking about for the longest time now, in the fact that the D is not good enough and it needs to be fixed. And it looks like the Nils Lundqvist experiment for the past year and a half, it might be over. Hanley looks like he's going to be a staple in the lineup until or if they go out and upgrade their D. And it was just completely inexcusable. And it wasn't just Harley. I wasn't even mad about the fact that Giroux got a step on Harley, because Giroux is a great player. But the fact that Wedgwood comes in and you lose your number 1 goalie, he makes 2 brilliant stops on Claude Giroux there, and then you're not able to clean up the rebound. I mean, he made 2 giant stops that he shouldn't have had to make, and you just leave him hanging out to dry. There was like 4 players around the Dallas net after they scored the goal. So I was very hacked off at that goal in particular, that put the Ottawa Senators up to 3-1. So not even 10 seconds later, which I guess Stars proved me wrong on this, but they give themselves a little bit more life in the fact that Lindell scores on the glove side. And like I mentioned, Duchesne is the one that sets him up. Joseph, like a minute and a half later, hits the post. Dallas would go back on the power play, and then Johnston completely missed the slam dunk. It was kind of a bouncing puck a little bit, so I don't blame him totally, but I kind of put for the third period, I thought for sure he's going to get a goal. And I was kind of close, but he would get an assist on the Miro goal, excuse me. But his game tonight was pretty well, was pretty good as well. The one other thing I wanted to talk about actually, there's 2 more things about the first period, because this was a bizarre period, by the way. The hit by Tkachuk after the whistle on Miro to knock him down, that was completely on purpose. It was 100% on purpose. You could tell. But I'm not really I was kind of hacked off about that, but I can't be mad about it because Jamie Benn has done that for years. He's done stuff like that for years against opposing players. So I wasn't all that hacked off about it, but it was kind of a cheap shot, just not a bad cheap shot. And then the one other thing I wanted to talk about, the last thing about this first period, is as I feel like I'm rambling a lot, but there was a lot in this first period. Um, Sevi said during the first intermission that Dallas was losing a lot of puck battles and getting outworked by Ottawa, and that was something that I hadn't necessarily noticed in the first period. But after watching some of the replays that they showed during the first intermission and kind of looking back at my notes, I was like, you know what? He's kind of right. They were getting outworked a little bit. Ottawa doesn't have the amount of talent that Dallas does, but they definitely got outworked in the first period by the Ottawa Senators. So as the game went on, that would eventually turn and the Stars would be getting better. But I would like to see the Stars play like the fourth line does. So the fourth line for the Stars, for me, I love the effort that they put in, and I know they don't get any offense at all. Chris is not here to make fun of Foxa, but Foxa does never gets any offense or anything. But I would like to see them be a little bit more aggressive early on, and they did that. But maybe this was just because it was a weird period. It was a weird game overall. The third period was the most normal period of all three, which was very strange. But I would like to see the Stars a little bit more consistent with their ability to push, their ability to be a little bit more aggressive in the offensive zone when it comes to forechecking. So early in the second period, I thought Ottawa was playing harder on the puck as well. I wrote down here. Essa had some good defensive plays there early in the second. And then Ottawa would go up 4-2. Batherson scores his second of the game on a rebound where we just couldn't eliminate him, and Ottawa was harder on the puck again. So I was getting frustrated. It's like their third 2-goal lead of the evening Ottawa had, and it was very frustrating in the fact that Suter was not able to eliminate Batherson on that play. And I mean, again, it's like he's always there at the wrong times and I'm specifically talking about Ryan Suter. He needs to play on the third pairing. He's too slow. He's just too slow, and he's not getting to the areas where he's needed to get to in order to not allow these goals to happen. I mean, two of those goals tonight are specifically, I have his name written down on those goals. This 4-2 goal, and I forgot the other one. I'm trying to find it. But regardless of the fact, we need something else on the defensive pairing, and it needs to be a top four guy, and preferably a second pairing guy. Throw Harley up on the first pairing. We talked about that a lot on Monday, but Suter does not need to be playing in a top four role. On the penalty kill, I think he's a good addition on the penalty kill, but he needs to be down on the third pairing and playing less minutes to make him more effective. I hope that's something that they take care of before the trade deadline this season. Duchesne with more chances, Wedgwood with several saves, a couple more penalties by Dallas. Hockenpah, I thought, had a good game as well, a couple of blocked shots. And then Harley would score a shorthanded goal that I saw as a huge goal. That was a very, very large goal by Thomas Harley there. He kind of makes up for getting beat by Giroux earlier in the game. He got the rebound going 5-hole on the goaltender for the Ottawa Senators, Anton Forsberg. So with that, Dallas gets their 7th shorthanded goal of the season. They have the second most shorthanded goals in the NHL. And that's crazy to think that they have only given up 12 power play goals and they have scored 7 shorthanded. So that's only a -5 on the goal differential when it comes to the Dallas PK. So really great there. Duchesne would hit the post on a Dallas odd man rush there, about 750. Tkachuk would take a shot after an awkward bounce off the boards. There was a couple of those actually in the game tonight where there were some awkward bounces off the boards, and not a big deal, but it's something that I've noticed more lately, maybe just this season, in the fact that there have been more awkward bounces off of the boards at the American Airlines Center than there have been in the past. And maybe that's just because I'm noticing them more, but it really feels like that's been happening more often, especially lately. At 6:21, I thought this was noteworthy. The shots were only 14-13, so more than half the game is over, and there's 7 goals on 27 shots. That was a little bit crazy. There was a odd man rush where I thought Dodonov probably should have taken a shot there. He doesn't. Eza has a big hit on Batherson, and the American Airlines Center's crowd calls the penalty, but the refs don't after that hit. One guy that I thought was really noticeable for the Ottawa Senators, and he looks really scary, is Tim Stützle. Tim Stützle is a great player. The biggest thing that I noticed about him is he reminds me a lot of what Hintz does, and McDavid and McKinnon, and all with his speed. It's just crazy to watch him and with his speed, and he could skate with the best, in my opinion, watching out there. Hintz would have a chance to end the second period, but to end the second period, the Stars are only down by a goal, and it was 4-3 at that point. And I wasn't upset after the second period. I felt a lot better, especially after that Harley goal. But again, I was extremely hacked off with the 2 Batherson goals tonight. The No, excuse me. The Norris first, the first Norris goal, the only Norris goal, and then the second Batherson goal. I was very frustrated with both of those goals because it felt like that the Dallas defense was not on top of their game for both of those. Okay, to begin the third, Ottawa would come out with 2 less players on the ice, and they lost 2 guys, and that doesn't help them, especially considering they're on a second game of a back-to-back. So frustrating for them, but good news for the Stars. They highlight this before the third period starts. Dallas had, at this point, had 9 comeback wins, and they were tied for second in the NHL. Now they're tied for first in the NHL with 10. And Ottawa at this point was 9-0 when leading going into the third period. So it was only 9 times they had been ahead going into the third period. They hadn't lost a game when they were leading. Now that is 9-1, thanks to the Dallas Stars. Robo had a shot off the rush. I thought his game was okay tonight. I wasn't upset with anything. I just wish he was a little faster. There were a couple plays that I was just like, man, if he could just be just a little bit faster, that would just make him an even more dangerous player. He's secretly having a good season, not so much in the goal scoring department, but he does lead the Dallas Stars in assists with 17 or 18. I can't remember exactly, but he has been secretly having a good season, in my opinion, just not on the goal scoring department. Ottawa would have a 2-on-1. Wedgwood would make a save on Tkachuk on that 2-on-1. Batherson would have a chance. And then the goal heard around the world, at least for me. I stood up and yelled, "Let's go" for this one. Miro scores after some dangles by Johnston. So Johnston with a really good play there. I was somewhat close in him getting a goal, but he gets the assist on that. And it ties the game for the first time since the beginning of the first period when it was 0-0. Dallas would go up 5-4 on the Duchesne goal, and it was a lucky bounce off of, I believe it was Norris's stick. Yes, off of Norris's stick. That makes it 6 points in 5 games for Matt Duchesne. And the first thing I wrote down after that goal is don't relent on the pressure. Please. On the offensive zone pressure, please do not relent on it. The fourth line would have a tip chance from a Harley Point shot. Hintz would have a shot off the odd man rush. Dodonov with a big reversal hit. That was fun to watch. Dallas almost had a turnover, but it was called offside, and that was something that Razor kind of went into a mini rant about. He was just like, don't feed them by having turnovers. Don't give them any kind of opportunities. You're only up by 1 goal, not 2 or 3, like it feels like, is what he talked about. Again, another awkward hop off the boards. It went right in front of Wedgwood, and if there had been a Ottawa player in front of the net, that would have gone behind him. So that was really frustrating to see. And again, just another awkward bounce. I think that's 3 in the game. There was at least 2, maybe 3 that I remember have. Stützle would have a backhand chance off of Wedgwood. Duchesne has a shot that misses. It paints the glass. Kachuk had a tip in front, and then Chikrin had a point shot, and it was a really great play by Wedgwood there. Yes, it hit him in the belly button, but he didn't allow a rebound off of that shot. So that was legit huge by Wedgwood there. Dallas wins. They looked better as the game went on, and Ottawa just kind of ran out of gas and they ran out of personnel. So my biggest thing about this game is, yeah, I know that it's against the Ottawa Senators, and the Ottawa Senators are, I think, the worst team in the Eastern Conference right now. But, a win's a win. And at this point, when I don't want to say the Stars are sucking it up, they're struggling. They're playing 500 hockey right now. But when you had a really good start to the season like the Stars have had, it's okay to go for periods of time where you're kind of 500 hockey, as long as the other teams around you are not getting better around you, which especially Colorado has been struggling lately, just as a side note there. But they do get the win tonight. Let me know y'all's comments down below here real quick. I'll kind of go through some of these and see what we got. Mato, I took offense to this comment. So I'll just go ahead and bring it up. Felt like Ryan tonight. Internet wouldn't work and missed the last minute of the game. Yep. And here's my comment back to him. I just rolled my eyes and shook my shoulders. I live in West Texas, man. I mean, what can you expect? Lots of comments about the defense tonight. Eric over here saying the defense is giving up way too many goals. The defense is not good right now, not just the defensemen. And I agree with that. It's the forwards are not coming back like they were earlier in the season, especially off the odd man rush. And then we get into a little bit of goalie talk over here, like we talked about earlier. Mato saying, I hope Otter is okay. That was a scary incident. Brooke asking, will Wedgwood play tomorrow? Absolutely. Yeah, he is. He's playing tomorrow. There's no way. Even it doesn't matter who they're calling up, Poirier or Murray. They are not getting the start tomorrow night. That's not going to happen. I can guarantee you that. Let's see. Eric over here. I hate St. Louis so much. We need a good, solid road game. I say shut them down, but the D is not capable of that right now. Going to have to put up goals again. I don't know. They've been better on the road when it comes to their defense than they have been at home. That's something that Razor highlighted, especially against Eastern Conference teams. For some reason, they've won like 8-1, 6-3, 5-3. I mean, tonight it's a 5-4 win. So I don't get it, but whatever. Let's see. Brooke over here. We may not be playing Stanley Cup hockey, but remember that we beat Vegas in every game during the regular season. They got their act together when it counted. Yes, that's a good point as well. And that's something that the Stars could be doing. It really doesn't matter how you're playing at this point in the season. You just got to play good enough to get into the playoffs. And the thing that really matters is how you're playing going into the playoffs. And normally it's not necessarily the best team in the regular season that wins the Stanley Cup. I mean, we saw that with Boston last year. They are the best team ever, the best regular season team ever, and they still lost in the first round. So, just matters about if you're hot or not. That's all. That's all I would be. All I would be worried about going into the playoffs. Eric, probably talking about another comment, but true, but our D is progressively getting worse, not running into form. I also don't expect Nil to make any significant acquisition. Just not his MO. At best, it would be D depth. See, Eric, this is where I disagree with you, man, because this team has been talked about a lot when it comes to Stanley Cup contention. That's something that we have been talking about all season and all off season. It wasn't just the Stars fan base that was talking about the fact that this team has Stanley Cup aspirations. I mean, numerous people were picking and still are picking the Stars to win the Stanley Cup. So if you're going to go out and make an acquisition, I think you do it this year. And maybe you go out and you get a guy that's going to stay for a long period of time. So maybe not just a deadline rental, but someone who might have some term to their contract. I'm not sure. Now, in fairness, this is also true. Eric also saying, we have no cap for a big name, but still, just not seeing this D get better. I love Danley. I love Danley. I love Hanley as a seventh D, but he's not showing me anything to keep Nils out. Not happy with that. Well, they just don't. They don't trust, or maybe it's DeBoer, maybe it's Nil. I don't. Maybe it's a combination of both. But obviously, someone does not trust Nil's ability to stay in the lineup and be consistent every single game. That's it. He has not. I think he's been scratched 4 or 5 times in the last 6 games. So I don't know. That's just something that I don't see happening at all. Joe Mama, yeah, they're dirty, referencing the Kachuk brothers, but I do love them when they aren't playing the Stars. Yes, I agree. They are fun. They remind me a lot of Jamie Benn and some of the pestering stuff that they do sometimes. So, oh yeah, there you go. That your very next comment, Joe Mama was talking about that. Yes, exactly. So, Eric also agreeing with me on bounces off the boards. This is gonna be a big one, and this is something that I actually got frustrated, and I'll talk about this in a second. But Ardell, Wedgwood will have to carry the mail in the interim. That's why we have him. Team needs to rally around 41. Absolutely, and this is something that a couple of Stars groups chats were talking about that I was getting frustrated with, was them saying that Wedgwood is better and Otter is not that good, and Wedgwood needs to be taking more reps in the net right now. Well, I didn't agree with that, and so I didn't even let my opinion be known in that group chat. But looks like they're gonna get what they want, because obviously Otter's not gonna play tomorrow. It's gonna be Wedgwood. So the Stars have, and to that group chat's defense, the Stars have played pretty well in front of Wedgwood. They have, and they have given up more goals when Wedgwood is in net, but he's won games. I mean, he really has. Really, what I need to know, let me look it up while I do this. But I think he has a very good record. I think he has a goals against average that is above 3 this season. But I think he has a really good record right now. I can't find his specific. Okay, yeah, so here it is. So he has a 3.15 goals against average this season. He's got a 907 save percentage, which is lower than last year and the year before. But last year he was 9-8-3 in the games that he played. This season he's 6-1-1. Maybe this is something that could help the Stars in the long run. I mean, our defense is not great right now anyways. So maybe this is the right way to go. I really honestly don't know. And we'll see how this experiment goes. Wedgwood is going to have to be a starter for at least a little while. And I think we can really do well with him in the net. So we'll see. Also Ardell, Harley is good hockey. Maybe he meant to say good at hockey, but either way, he's right. Harley is good hockey. It's fun to watch Harley. He's got 7 goals on the season now, so I'm really excited to see that. Hey Zach, forced pull on Otter tonight worked. I guess that's a way to look at it. And Zach's also been frustrated that DeBoer won't pull goalies. Yeah, that is one thing, especially when and it's just because Otter has played more. But when Otter has not looked his best, you could tell easily. Like if it was 3-0 early on, that's when you gotta pull him out. And it was, I forget what game exactly it was. I think it might have been the Vegas game actually. It was like 3-0, and you could easily see that the Stars were not playing well. Neither was Otter. He wasn't single-handedly gonna get the team back into the game. That's something that you don't just pull Otter just because he's playing bad, but you also use it as a momentum technique to try and get momentum going the other way, and kind of a kick in the pants to the rest of the team saying, hey, You let down your goalie. We're down 3-0 now, and regardless of whether it was his fault or not, let's get going. Come on, let's go. DeBoer hasn't really done that this season or ever, to be totally honest with you. And I don't know if that's more of a if it's more of a technique in DeBoer showing that he trusts his goaltenders. I don't really know in trusting Otter to get better, or if it's just the fact that he just doesn't believe in it. And I agree with you, Zach. I wish he would use it a little bit more, but it is what it is. And the Stars will be back at it tomorrow night against the Blues in St. Louis. So it's a weird kind of back-to-back situation where they're at home tonight, on the road tomorrow. And just as a programming note, and they did a really good job in trying to make sure everybody knew during the broadcast, but the game is going to be on TXA 21 locally there in the DFW area. So it will not be on Bally Sports. I don't really know why it's not on Bally Sports, but if I took a guess at this with my brothers when we heard the announcement, but my guess is the fact that the Texas high school football championships are going on right now at the Cowboys Stadium. Maybe that's why. I don't know. Maybe they've got a big game on Saturday. I don't know how the games work. If it's 6 on Saturday or something, and that's why they're showing high school football instead of Stars hockey. I don't know, but either way, it's going to be on TXA 21. We'll look forward to that. But I appreciate you guys that have been hanging around with me tonight. I know it's just me tonight. I'll be back with you again tomorrow to give you more analysis of the game against the St. Louis Blues. Chris, I love you, buddy. I'm really excited to see you on Sunday. I hope you watch it. You listen to this episode and kind of at least get a feel of how the game went. But I know you're busy right now. So anyways, guys, appreciate you guys watching. There was about 12 of y'all that were watching live. There's more that are listening afterwards. Really appreciate you guys going. Go and check out StarcasticRemarks.com for all the latest information on our podcast. We appreciate y'all doing that. And as always, alongside myself, we will catch you guys on the flip side. Hope you guys have a good, fantastic morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you guys are listening. Y'all are going to have to be stuck with me saying GG boys tonight since Chris is not here. Good night and GG boys. See y'all tomorrow night.